Welcome to video 6 of the Wildly Successful Enterprises program. Now, so far in this video series, we've determined why the people in your organization are not aligned to the same value proposition, and that your organization is not designed to effectively deliver value. Now, why is that? Well, there's a fundamental flaw in our thinking, and it's due to natural tendencies as human beings that has us focus first and foremost on people, specifically managing them. Now, since the advent of the Industrial Revolution, we also focus on technology. The next latest and greatest technology is going to fix everything. Well, that's true and not true. Now, first, we found out that we don't all agree on the value the organization is created to deliver. That's become clear. And then next, what we do is we organize to focus on managing people instead of focusing on delivering value. We then make that value delivery flow more complicated, or in our last video, it's like spaghetti, right? It's just all over the organization. And then we make it more complicated by applying technology over top of the mess. It's absolutely insane, right? Now, I see this happening time and again. And with the advent of digital transformation, things are getting worse, not better. Now, why? Well, there's a fundamental dimension being ignored that, when brought to the forefront, actually solves all these common organizational problems. But if I brought it up to you right now, you simply wouldn't appreciate it. And that is also due to natural human tendency. So to start, what we need to do is create awareness of what you're unconsciously assuming that has you not be able to create an effective organization. Now, I'm going to cover 5 flawed assumptions, and we're going to touch on the first one in depth today. But the 5 flawed assumptions that I've identified are as follows. People, meaning everyone in your organization, know and understand what their customers value. That's a flawed assumption. Number 2, people, being everyone in your organization, know what part they play in delivering value. Another flawed assumption. Number 3, people, being functional experts, are great leaders and managers. Flawed assumption. Number 4, people, being functional experts, are great business designers. Flawed assumption. Number 5, technology will always improve how people work. Big flawed assumption. So let's get into assumption number 1, that people know and understand what customers value. Do not continue to assume you know what your potential customers want and need. We each value something differently, and we cannot assume what others may value. And I'm going to share 2 stories to prove this point. I'm going to read these to you now. When I joined a 49-year-old Fortune 1000 company, I was shocked to discover that they had just begun their first true customer experience inquiry, directly listening to customers for the first time. Faithful employees who had been with the company for years were also shocked to hear what the customer really wanted. They admitted to having assumed they themselves knew what customers wanted when developing and redesigning product and service delivery mechanisms over the years. They also admitted to sometimes creating the exact opposite outcome from what customers really valued. I observed that although they were now finally asking for customer input, they had already designed a customer service online portal and then began asking leading questions and gathering feedback. What was ignored was asking the customer what was missing in interacting with the organization in the first place, and then basing that design of that portal based on those customer needs. Here's another quick story. As a young CPA, I moved after 2 years from one international accounting firm to another. The 2 firms had vastly different audit approaches and personnel policies. Shortly after joining the second firm, During a staff meeting intended to generate new clients, I asked what differentiated our firm from the other big 8. Why would clients want to come to our firm? I was greeted with a slightly veiled scorn by partners and managers of a stodgy profession whose only answer was, because we are XYZ accounting and everyone knows we're great. They completely missed the point of the question, and their arrogance caused them to ignore a huge opportunity of discovering what their clients truly valued. So value is also a temporary phenomenon. It's subject to change at any given time. Look at what happened with COVID alone. So the inability for an organization to adapt and innovate is partially because they're not even listening to the pulse of the value your customers really want. What does the market want right now? In a blink of an eye, everything can change. Now we're going to address creating highly adaptable organizations in a later video. So I'm not going to get into that right now, but it is imperative that you begin to get everyone focused on delivering the same value. Better decisions will be made. There will be employee alignment. Otherwise, you're going to continue to struggle with just that, employee alignment, productivity, customer acquisition, and retention. And so I want you to consider all of this, and we're going to get into assumption 2 in the next video. A like and a share is also appreciated. And until next time, please be well.